Ladies and gentlemen, in today's video I will be showing you how to replace the battery in APC's backup UPS model 425. So as you know, or maybe as you don't know, APC has designed these UPSs to be throwaway models in the case that they do not offer replacement batteries because they want you to buy a new UPS. However, that being said, there are third-party replacements, and today I have one such replacement. Here is a replacement battery for the UPS, 12 volts, 5 amp hours from U+. It matches roughly the same specs, and it does work. So let's get into it. Okay, so the first thing we will be doing is opening up the APC UPS, which is relatively simple. There are 4 screws holding the bottom in. However, you need a very long screwdriver for that, and this one works. If you want to know where I got this at Walmart, Hyper Tough, for $2.34. So we're gonna undo the screws. Now, do note that it takes quite a lot of screwing to get these screws out because they are threaded quite deep in there. And of course, this is to make replacing it all the more harder. Sure, they don't explicitly state that you can't replace the battery, and there's nothing about voiding a warranty or anything. However, they make it as painful as possible. Like this. They didn't have to seat the threads this deep, but they did it on purpose. So try to make you buy a new UPS. But if you're watching this, you know you can just replace the battery. Or maybe you didn't know, and you're just now finding out. Alright, so that's the 4th screw right there. And keep a hold of these screws because we are going to need them later. And that's the only thing you need the screwdriver for. So next, just wiggle back and forth. Note that it is a bit painful, because it does latch in really quite well. I'll be back in just a minute, folks. Okay, so after a little prying on the ends, I was able to get one side off. However, this other side seems to really be stuck in. And, well, there we go. That's the lid off. And now we get to see the glorious guts of this thing. So we've got the motherboard and we've got the plugs over here. So don't worry about any of this. The only thing we're worrying about is said battery. So all you're going to do is just lift the battery out. And as you can see, it is a 12 volt 4.5 amp hour battery. And we're replacing it with a 12 volt 5 amp hour battery, which will work simply because we are increasing the capacity. Alright, next thing we're going to do is just take off these plugs. So all you're going to do is just grip it and just twist. And back it off. The first time you do it, it's going to be a lot harder. And that's it. Taken right off. So just set that to the side. And bring in your new battery. So, as you can see, the wires are color-coded for the battery. We have black and we have red. So all we're going to do is just plug it in really simply. So just bring your battery in and simply just slide the plugs on. There's one. And there's... Whoops, don't want to put that upside down. And there's number 2. Slides on just right like that. I did put some extra heat shrink over the wires because when I was taking it off the battery originally, the first time I did this, I tore the heat shrink a bit, so I put on some adhesive heat shrink. Alright, so next thing we're going to do is install this. Now, you want to install it with the label facing towards the motherboard because it makes it easier to route the battery wires. So, I'll zoom in a bit more. So in here you can see the mount. It's got some corners. So that's one corner right there. Right, 1, 2... and you got 3 and 4 down there, and that's where the battery sits. So what we're going to do is just take the battery, right? You're going to hold both wires out of the way so that they can pass under the battery. And you are just going to slide it in, like that. Make sure the wires are out of the way. And it will just sit. There we go. Got it sitting nice and steadily. And the wires are coming out from right under the battery. So lastly, we're just going to slip the whole lid on. Like so. And should just snap back on. Like that. So I'll open it up, make sure nothing is rubbing on anything. Looks like we're good. Check in there. Yeah, we're good. And just boop. That's it. Next thing we're going to do, screws. Let's actually get all 4 in first. Just drop them back in. Like so. And simply screw them back in. And yeah. That's all there is to it. A relatively simple replacement. And all you need to have on hand is this hyper tough screwdriver. I mean, you can use other models, but you know what, this works. Oh yeah, and there is what you're looking for right there if you want to get another model. Number 2 by 6 inches. So you need a number 2 sized that is 6 inches long. I suppose you could go for 4 inches, but 6 inches just gives you the added length and usability. And honestly, for 234, I don't think there's really any point in going cheaper. And well, I mean, there you got it, folks. APC UPS with the battery swapped out. I'll plug it in. And it should power right on. And there you go. That's it. We're good. It's powered on. And yeah, that's it. Steady green light means no battery error. Currently charging the battery. And we're good to go. That's it. I'll see you guys in the next video.